Drunk Collectors live stream. We got it figured out over here. Tell Jordan about every time we record or do anything. One of these days, we'll go along without any sort of hiccups. Today's not that day. Today, we're going to be talking about the Maximum Spider-Man a little bit. This is going to be a call-in show. We're going to start chatting a little bit ourselves first, and then we'll bring you all on, kind of go over what we've talked about in the previous episode. If you haven't watched that, stay here for now and then go back and watch it after the live stream. But pretty good show. A lot of comments.
Too bad of an episode, if I do say so myself, Dakota. I think a great topic, and clearly from our comments we were getting, people are quite invested in this Maximum topic. So
yeah, a lot of opinions for sure.
Right.
Now, I did put a poll up on our community page. So if you haven't had a chance to fill that out, you've got like 30 seconds before I pull that up. I'm gonna pull up our live.
Get your votes in, folks.
Yeah, get your votes in.
Get them in. Get them in.
44 last I checked. All right, let me share screen possibly. Let's see what you all think about it. Going over to the poll. So like I said, we've got 444. Let me refresh real quick. Oh, we got almost 10 more. So we got 32% saying the question was, will you buy the new Maximum Spider-Man if it's $50 or over? 32% of people said yes. 68% of people said no.
Wow.
Now, Jordan, did you? I don't know if you voted on this. What would your vote be if you haven't, or what did you vote?
Dakota. Man, gosh dang it, you're really gonna put me there, aren't you? I don't think I would go over 50. So you said if it's at 50, would I still get it?
So, yeah, if it's, you could include $49.99 in that as well, because that's if they were going to charge 50, that's what it would be. That's $50, or if it's more than 50.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna go with the nose.
The man who loves Spider-Mans is saying no.
It's gotta be. Well, my prediction was the $44.99 was my hope. I mean, I'd still love that 40 though. I think 40 would be great. Just because, as you said that to me, Dakota, I pictured myself paying 50 and then getting it in hand, and as even the best Marvel Legend in the world, for a standard figure, I think I'd have that disappointment of like, this is $50.
Yeah.
Even with the web effects, because those are kind of cool. But yeah, I would. I don't think that'd feel right to me.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, my thought process on it is a few different things here. This is still a standard figure, and like we're going to dive into some other prices here in just a second. I'll pull up Legends Verse and we can see what other things cost. But that Jean Grey, chat, you can remind me, was $50 or $60. I can't remember. And I really thought that one was overpriced too, because I get with when you're putting like Danny Ketch with a motorcycle, it's a vehicle. It's,
yeah.
I don't know that I would really call that Phoenix Bird a vehicle. I would say that's more of like just a statue. I mean, I know that it had like a moving part. I think the head moved.
Yeah.
I'm also not super invested in that Phoenix, so I passed on that. But again, this is still a standard Spider-Man, and he's coming with some extra accessories, like you said, those web effects. Am I ever going to use those web effects? Probably not. I'm going to probably use my wired custom ones. Maybe I would use the stand for something. I could see ACBA being really cool with this.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like the real big selling point for this is like, oh, it's a brand new body, the best ever, yada, yada. They didn't make a brand new body for one figure. So moving forward, you're going to get your Spider-Mans in their brand new Maximum body and the Renew Your Vows body, and still probably maybe a Sunfire here and there. And the Amazing Fantasy. So you've got, I mean, that's at least 3 really good Spider-Man bodies to use from now.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, I think I'll just wait and I'll get my hands on the body when it comes out in a standard way. in a retro card or something like that.
You're gonna get your hands on that body one way or
Oh,
another.
I'm gonna
You
have my
always
hands
do.
all over that body, baby.
When you watch, when I set my mind to it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's very true. You know, it's like we're gonna see this again on a Spider-Man. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I wouldn't get it just because you're like, this is the one I gotta have because we will definitely see it again. Um,
Right.
but I'm still excited for it. I mean, I still think it's a great idea. Part of me feels, Dakota, though, it's like I would like to support the endeavor of like I think
Mm-hmm.
this is a cool idea for the line, and I really want to see them continue with maximum things. But you know, they're probably going to keep making them whether I buy one or not. So
That's
I
true.
don't think they're that contingent on
Yeah.
my money.
Good point. I mean, I do think that this is sort of testing the waters with, like, if this sells like crazy, if this sells out day one, then they'll probably be making. I mean, they're obviously going to make more maximum things this year, but like, if this line does well, then they'll probably continue it
Mm-hmm.
again. Um, but yeah, that's just where like I'm really just waiting on the price to know whether this is going to be something I get or not. Because
Mm-hmm.
I like the Renew Your Vows body. I like the Amazing Fantasy body. I am interested to see how this is better, but at the same
Yeah.
time, and that's the thing too, is like they're like, oh, this is the new best definitive Spider-Man body.
Mm-hmm.
Until 2 years from now, when they make a new best definitive Spider-Man body, where the joints are a little bit more Mafexy, a little
Yeah.
less, hingy.
Just a
They're
couple
gonna,
years ago, people loved that pizza Spidey body, you know, and
yeah,
that to me is just an archaic relic at this
it,
point. But
yeah, that's on the doo-doo garbage list now, I think.
that figured us that's no good.
Yeah,
Mm-mm. Yeah.
we do have our first super chat of the night, Jordan.
Mm.
Machu is saying that I hope the next maximum figure is either Iceman or Storm. And we are
Ooh.
there's rumors of a deluxe Storm coming, right? I think I
Mm-hmm.
remember that. So
Yeah.
may not be maximum, but it's supposed to be deluxe at least. So it should be in that realm. Um, you had Iceman on your list, right? On that episode we just did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think Iceman would be cool. I'd definitely be interested in that. Storm, it would depend on the look, and it would depend on the cape.
I did. I said Iceman. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Um, let's see. I'm gonna switch over to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see Canva. So this is everything that this Spider-Man comes with, just so we all can remember here. Pretty good
Those
looking
handsome guys.
thumbnail there. We are
Yeah.
going to get to the call-in portion of the show. Jordan and I just need to, we like to hear ourselves talk a little first before we hear you
Yeah.
all. But
Mm-hmm.
so the Spider-Man, count it up. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 accessories if you count the stand, which I think we will. And let me pull up
Do you
Legends
think
verse
those
here.
web lines are just like the noodly kind of wimpy ones? Those aren't like you could bend them and pose them like a wire. Do you think
I
or
would
no?
I
Do
would
you know?
highly doubt that they're posable. No, I think they're just the floppy plastic, same, not same, but
Mm.
very similar to all the other ones.
Yeah, that's not
So
so cool.
no, I agree. That's where it's kind of like I'm like, I don't really. You're not gonna get me excited on those web lines, but the web like shots look cool, but that's about it. All right, so we're on Legends verse.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see. So what did I just say that came with? 19 figures or 19 accessories, including the web stand.
Yes, you said 19. Mm-hmm.
We're gonna look up Black Widow, the Target Deluxe. This one. How much does she come with? So she's got. I can't make this any bigger. I feel
One,
like
two,
Legends
three,
verse. We should
four,
update
five,
that.
6, 7, 8, 9,
16
16.
accessories.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty close. I mean, I will say that like the web lines are probably a much more significant effect than this like smoky trail thing.
Mm-hmm.
But she retailed for $27.99.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are we really thinking that almost double this price is what the Spider-Man should cost.
That's Spider-Man Premium, Dakota. You gotta factor that in.
All right, I want to see Deadpool from the 2-pack San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
Let me know if I pass it. There it is.
You didn't.
Okay.
There you go.
So this one. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I would assume. 15 accessories there. And that was $50, so 20. That's a standard figure right there. I know a lot of people are saying it's going to cost 50, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, I really don't think I do either.
Yeah, you're starting to see the light that it might be a little less.
Well, dude, I think there is that part of me that if I like a Spider-Man, I'm gonna want to get him.
True.
There's not always a logical part of me that takes over, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I didn't feel strongly enough outright to be like, there's no way, this is ridiculous type thing. But I think having some time to reflect here with you now as we speak and share, I think I'm whether I'm being talked down or talking myself down, I think I'm stepping off the ledge a little bit on the maximum plunge.
Okay. Yeah, I think, like I think everybody said, I'm not going to be shocked if they say this is 50, but if they're really trying to say like, oh, we're like really listening to the fans here, this is going to be our greatest thing we ever do. Can it be for the fans? And like I would call 50. I don't know if I'd call 50 drastically overpriced, but if it goes past 50, I would call that drastically overpriced. I think I'm going to stick with I'm going to expect this to be 40. Oh, but that was the other thing. Let's go back to Legends Verse because I wanted to look up that Spider-Man from the video game because that one was kind of I think that was considered drastically overpriced.
That was pretty rough. I remember that.
Well, if I look up Spider-Man, that's going to be a bajillion things.
They've only made a couple of those, haven't they?
But I mean, like, Spider-Man, they've made.
Yeah, haven't they only made like a few?
Yeah, but what is it called?
I don't think they've made that many Spider-Mans, have they, in their whole time?
We've done a whole ranking of it.
I thought they only made like 2 or 3.
I'm about to blow your mind, man. All right.
I think there's only been about 3 Spider-Mans that they've ever made.
All right, let me know when you see it. Oh, we got 10 pages of this?
Wow.
I looked it up the other day and I found, Game Reverses? Nope, not the right ones. This is a windowless box we're looking here for.
Okay.
Game Reverse Miles. Oh, let's look at this while we're on our way. Iron Spider, what did he cost? $33.99. I think that's a little overpriced. I did buy that. I did though. I did buy that.
Yeah, you're part of the problem, man. You're why this Spider-Man's going to be $80. This is your fault.
This was not worth $34. I was out of my mind. That's.
I could have gotten a Legion.
Let me know in the chat how crazy I was. All right, moving on though. That's insulting. How about this? Because this is it's my favorite body for Spider-Man. $27.99. Starting to see where people are talking about that Spider-Man tax.
That's what I'm saying. That's pretty wild that he's $27.99. It's like what does he have that makes him 27? And that's when they switched to no window too.
Yeah.
I mean,
which hot take. I prefer that. But
well, yeah. I'm just saying if you were trying to be like it's in a cool like packaging or something, like you were just trying to open it up and throw it away. So what?
$30 for that one too, because it's a 2-pack. I don't think
Spider-Ham is a second figure.
Right. Get out of here. There we go.
All right.
Spider-Man 2, it's called if you're trying to look it up. $35. Get out of here.
I remember that was like, what are we doing?
I mean,
he doesn't even have 3 sets of hands.
No, he's got a punching for each hand, and he's got one
And
wall crawling and one flipping.
oh yeah, so he can only shoot webs with his right hand. Good job.
Yeah, that's pretty rough for your money there.
Yeah,
So if this is your argument where you're like, no, guys, look, they made you pay this much for when he
right.
costs this,
You're like that doesn't make sense.
yeah, then oh, that's pretty, Hasbro, that sucks of you. How dare you?
That really sucked, man.
I
Well, I mean, I think it'd be like, oh, that last one was hot, and then the
mm-hmm,
Spider-Man 2 game came out, and people really want it. But
mm-hmm,
yeah, I mean, I think there's a way you could have made a Spider-Man 2 figure for $35 because in those games
mm-hmm.
he's got like all the gadgets, and he's got web legs at times, and he's got little spider bots, and you could have thrown some of that in there. But yeah, I remember even at that time thinking that one was definitely not worth
Right.
35.
No, definitely not. I don't think there was anything else that was like insultingly crazy from
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man's. Yeah, now we're kind of getting into it. How much was Superior Spider-Man? Because he was more than standard, I think. $30.
Hmm.
What did you feel like this was worth your $30, Jordan? $5
I
extra?
think I got him on the Big
Yeah,
Bad Toy Store glitch, so I think I was only 35, if I remember right. Or
25.
25.
Yeah.
25, I was very happy.
Oh yeah. But would you have spent
30,
30? You would have spent 30. I know you would have.
oh
Don't
yeah,
lie.
oh yeah,
Don't lie to me.
oh yeah, I absolutely would have. Would I have been like,
Blown away by it. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he does have like I think this one makes more sense to be costing
Mm-hmm.
more than the Iron Spider because A, you've got more hands, an extra head, and these things
Mm-hmm.
actually move.
Right.
And what did I say that Iron Spider was? That was over 30. Wasn't that 33?
33, yep.
Oh, they were out of their
Ish. Well,
minds for a little
33 or
while.
something like that.
Yeah.
Is it 33
That's
or 34? 34, I think you said.
yeah. Yeah, probably 33 and change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think I feel like they've corrected themselves since
Mm-hmm.
charging that much for a Spider-Man. At least I'm going to hope so,
Yeah.
but I don't know. So, you're feeling more 40 or 45 or less now.
What I think or hope it will be, or what I would
What do you
buy it at.
think? Yeah, what do you think?
Uh, I mean, I don't know. On a video, I said 45.
Yeah.
I keep going back and forth on whether that's wishful thinking and it's just gonna be 50. I hope it's not 50, man. I really
No,
do.
I really think after we've been looking at this, that just seems too high now.
What do you? I mean, maybe I'll stick with my 44.99. I'll stick with that.
I'm going to say it's going to be 40. It's going to be 40, maybe 39.99, but I could see it being like over like in the like 42 something or another type of thing. But I don't think it's going to hit 45. That's going to be my if it is 45, I will consider buying it.
Mhm.
If it's 50 or more though, I am not considering buying it. That is where I draw my line. And your line is at 50? You're willing to pay 50 for it, right, Jordan?
No, I think now that I think about it, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna stand against that.
Okay. All right, I'm going to put the link into the description here in just a second, folks. So if you want to
Mm-hmm.
call in and tell us what you think, it'd be kind of like a Zoom link. All right. So all you should have to do is, in order to see this link, you have to first like the video. Only 7 of you have liked the video, and there's 52 of you watching. So
Mm.
first, you've got to like the video, and then refresh the
Well,
page.
there might be
And
45 people who don't like it, Dakota, and
oh,
they can think what they would like, but tell us how we can make you like it then.
right. So yeah, refresh the page, and
But
then it'll show up in the description.
even if you don't like it, just give it a like.
Just yeah,
Doesn't
help
hurt
me out,
you
man.
any.
Right. And after you like it, then you could hit the join button, become a channel member.
Right.
Got some cool emojis.
It's a slippery slope.
I do have a members only video. I'm currently in the process of editing it. So
Mm.
that'll come out for our members probably Friday. We don't usually do uploads on Fridays, so members, you're getting a episode on Friday.
Well, special video rolling into the weekend.
Yeah. And then we're gonna have. I don't think. Are you available for a live stream next week, Jordan? If we did a Strong
Mm.
Collectors After Dark.
I probably could be.
Okay. Then channel members, brace yourselves, because it's time for Strong Collectors After Dark. I
Mm.
think what you've been asking for years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe we've just been talking about it for years, but it's coming. It's on its way.
Get ready.
Close. All right. So yeah, if you want to join, keep it. This isn't Strong Collectors After Dark. Keep it somewhat family-ish friendly.
Mm-hmm.
We can get
We got
passionate.
a lot of kids watching.
Yeah, we do have some actually. I don't know how young, what you would consider like kids, but got at least a couple.
I
Yeah,
was joking, like 3-year-olds, but maybe.
Well, not quite 3-year-olds, but
Can
we've
they
got
be
some
on
like
YouTube?
teenagers.
Are we on YouTube, kids?
No,
Can you get us on there?
no, you can't make money on YouTube Kids. And
Wow,
that's what we're here
that's-
for, folks. The big bucks. We're just here to get rich and run.
Right. Hmm.
Okay.
Can't make money off 3-year-olds.
All right. We've got
Tell
our
that to
first
McDonald's.
guest.
Okay.
Speaking of channel members, we've got Matt. This is the Matt that I think it is. Matt is a channel member, our first channel member, actually.
Oh, I didn't know I had that honor. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you're the first.
Well, yeah, I guess my first thought is I was kind of going back and looking at the prices I paid. I managed to get Lockjaw and Crystal, Phoenix, and Odin all from Amazon.
Mhm.
The Lockjaw and Crystal was 75, Phoenix was 50, and Odin was 60. Originally, I was kind of in the camp of saying 40,
Mhm.
but I'm leaning more towards 45. And I think the real question we're going to have to ask ourselves after that is how much is that going to increase the deluxe figures going forward?
Are you thinking like deluxe figures in general, or like deluxe figures like the Maximum Hulk that's supposed to be possibly coming?
Well, I'm thinking like the next time we get a Phoenix figure or something two character wise, is it going to make those prices go up $5 or $10 from what they were recently?
True. I feel like I'm hopeful that they can keep it separated and just be like, oh, Maximum is like, this is your best ever figure. But at the same time, like you had stuff like well, even just comparing like the same 2-packs of like you had Mr. Rogue and Destiny, and then you had Doctor Strange and Wong, and those cost the same, yet look completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, it's a valid point. It does seem to be that there's a little bit of inconsistency with pricing. How do you justify, charging more for a couple of extra hands versus, an extra little accessory like the name is escaping me, but the dog that Doctor Strange has.
Bats, I
Oh,
think.
Yeah, spats.
Yeah. And then I was really happy when they announced that they didn't try calling it a 3-pack like they did with the little Wolverine from the Mojo.
Yeah,
Dakota's
that
been
definitely would have been a
bothered.
scred.
Dakota's been bothered by that for a very long time. Yeah.
I'll never forgive Hasbro for that one.
You might need to talk to him because I've been working on it for years and he's still just calls me in the middle of the night talking about it. Matt, so are you saying you would have been? Is there a point you'd be interested in buying this Spider-Man, or would have been, or would be?
Yeah, I think the maximum for me is going to be 50. The Spider-Man I have right now is the Vulture 2-pack, and I do like that one. It's not a perfect figure as has been discussed, but it's not bad overall. But I think 50 is my maximum for right now because it's like you guys said, they're going to come out with something better going forward. I also think it's possible that they hit us with the $50 price tag. There's a backlash, and they back the price down a bit for whatever the next release is.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I think that's something that like people, I think some people think they have a little bit more power because like you said, like that would be something that they would adjust for the next release. But it's like once Hasbro puts out the price for Spider-Man, they can't. I mean, like they can put them on sale, but they're not going to be like, oh, actually, we're changing it down to this. It's like Spider-Man's going to be what
Hmm.
Spider-Man's going to be, and he's going to be the one that tests. So if you're really opposed to being like, I can't let these corporate suits jack up my prices, you don't
Hmm.
have to buy it. But at the same time, I'm not saying like if you're like, I need this Spider-Man, it's the best thing I've ever seen, and you've got $50 to spend, like go for it. No, I'm not gonna like
Hmm.
be out there stopping people from getting him off the shelf, but don't feel
Yeah,
like you have to.
it kind of makes you think too. If the next one does end up being Hulk, um, he's a bulkier character. Are they going to
Mm-hmm.
change that price point for him in particular, and have standards for a regular sized character versus a larger character? Those are
Mm-hmm.
definitely would be two great characters to start with to really test the market.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Hulk is even like so if we're saying that you got Spider-Man standard figure $25 usually, his accessories add $25 to the price, and he's going to cost 50. So if we're saying that like the accessory bundle is that, and I would assume Hulk would be at least 40 as like a standard, like just if they just put Hulk out with two hands, and then you add the 25 on top of that. Now you're at like the same price as or Dragon Man was what was he 65 or 85?
Hey, was it 85? Matt, you might need to help us out here.
Yeah, I didn't go for him. I think it was somewhere in that range. I'm sure the
Yeah.
chat will know.
Yeah,
Either way, that's getting to be a
it's
lot for a Marvel Legends Hulk.
right. It's getting
So,
dangerously close to made to order, and
yeah, I'll
I just
agree
don't
with you there,
think.
Matt. Yeah, that's concerning to see it. If that
Mm-hmm.
if that is the standard, then if Spider-Man's 50 and bigger maximums are what 75, 80,
Yeah,
that's kind of a little alarming.
because yeah, I'm super excited for that Hulk, and I can't wait to see him. But if Hulk is costing me the same as what Dragon Man is costing me, I'm not going to be picking up another Hulk. So
Well, and the higher price they go to, they're starting to push into Mafex territory, and then you
right.
have to think about, what you're getting versus what Mafex is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they do have to be careful not to price themselves out completely.
Yeah, I agree because I think like you are. I don't know. Maybe Jordan, you'd have to tell me what you got with your Spider-Man, but I think you're getting more with this um, Marvel Legend versus the Mafex that you got at least, right?
Like just in general. Um,
Like as far as like accessories, web effects.
yeah, I mean he had some of those. They'd be like those ones he kind of put on his wrist for the web effects.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I'd have to look at the hands. It might be similar,
Okay.
but either way, I mean that one came down to like you could get them for like 80 some or
Right.
almost 80, 85. So like to go from that to I mean I guess if there's a $30 difference, but because it does kind of depend on what you want because
Yeah.
I do think a Mayfix sometimes does look. You can tell me what you think of that, Matt. How those fit into like a Marvel Legends display. So I get if you're like, I want to get a more premium Spider-Man to fit with my other Spider-Man. I think that makes sense. But
Here's what your
yeah.
Spider-Man's got. Well, actually, they're not even going to show me the layout of what he comes with. What the
Mm.
crap? Oh wait, maybe it does. Nope, it doesn't. Okay, never mind. This wasn't as helpful as I thought. But it was
Mm-hmm.
$94 retail. And I
Right.
think like looking at this, I mean you're the one that has it, but I
Oh, it's a
liked your
good
Mafex.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. But is it worth paying that much more for a Mafex? Sometimes, sometimes not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably wouldn't be going that much higher for it, but
Mm-hmm. Well, I bought it, Dakota, because it was the last Spider-Man I was ever gonna buy.
right, I remember that.
That's not working out too well for me, man. I've bought several Spider-Mans since then, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got your number, huh?
I got a whole
The-
box just full of Spider-Man, and it's like can't help myself. I don't know.
Yeah, I try to just stick to DC for my Mayfexes because I can at least be like, okay, the classic look of Batman. I'm not going to need another classic look. Like Todd's not going to do it better than Mayfex. Mayfex is the one there. Now, if they do like some Batman variation, I don't know what, like the Asbats, I'll get Todd's Asbats, even though I have the Mayfex Asbat, but they look different enough, and I just like that character too. But anyway,
Yeah, I don't own any Mafex. That's generally out of my price range. I've also heard mixed things about the different figures as to how durable they are, for lots of posing, if you move them around a lot, things like that.
yeah. I mean, I think I haven't had any issues with them. I have probably 5-ish or so now, and I think it's probably still on Amazon. If you need a good Steel figure, Steel is he's like, I think I've seen him before, and like he might have even dipped into the 50s, which is crazy to me because that's an amazing figure. I love that one.
Yeah, it's got to be worlds better than the Spackle figure that McFarlane put out.
Oh yeah, 100%. I didn't even waste my time with that one because I was like, the Mayfex is clearly crushing it there, but it's worth if you can to like get a Mayfex of like if they ever put out like your favorite character or like something like that, one that like really catches you. That's one that I think is worth selling off a few legends to bring in a big baby like that.
Yeah, I think one of my big things I do is I will go for larger figures like the Hulk. I'll grab Marvel Select because I like the size difference.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think Select is definitely, well, Select was really good at making those like more deluxe figures like the Crimson Dynamo and Titanium Man, even Destroyer.
Yeah.
I hope somebody picks that up. It'd be interesting to see.
People
Maybe that's
always
another
like
video.
that
Jordan.
Abomination, if I remember right. Right.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
People always saw that one a lot.
Yeah. You can stay tuned for McFarlane. Is he getting the Diamond Select license? So,
Ooh.
I don't know.
You never know.
I think that's what I would want him to get. I wouldn't want him to have Marvel Legends, but that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let's see what the chat is saying. Selects does great villains. Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people were excited for the Select Archangel, and I would assume that's still probably going to come out, but I'm also not sure. So yeah, because this is even bigger. I saw two guys in a stack of comics. They had their topic of their last episode was talking about Diamond closing. I didn't know that Diamond was also the like comic distributor. So
Yeah, I know my local comic shop has been having a lot of issues with getting comics in a timely fashion, even before they announced the bankruptcy. So it's a mess.
yeah, I know the one that I used to go to was also like almost every week they'd be like, hey, these came in, these didn't, should be here by early next week type of thing, which is too bad because I mean I want the local comic stores to do well, but when they can't get their product in, that's going to kind of hurt. And then yeah, I think that was kind of what two guys I didn't finish their episode, but they were kind of talking about how this is possibly going to impact Free Comic Book Day because that was, I guess, Diamond's thing. So there may not be a Free Comic Book Day this year.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for the industry as a whole.
Right. If Marvel Legends would put a QR code in the box, then maybe that will help and sell some books. All right, Matt, I'm going to hop you off and see if anybody else is trying to get in.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks for chatting.
Nice to meet you, Matt. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, you too, Jordan.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So the link is in the description, folks. If you want to jump on, feel free. We'll probably be on. It's almost Jordan's bedtime, but
it's getting close.
But
I'd stay on.
I was gonna say, did you know that Diamond was the same Diamond, like Diamond Comics?
I was more confused
toys?
when you were talking about Diamond Select because I was like, are you talking about Diamond Distributor, like the comics? So I
That's
thought
the same. Yeah.
I know, but I'm just
Oh,
saying
okay.
I was thinking of it as Diamond, the comic distributor, and then when people were saying Diamond Select, I was like, are they getting confused? Because I didn't think those are the
Mm,
same entity.
yeah.
So
And until today, I had no idea.
yeah, but
So
even then, though, I mean, they're going. They said bankruptcy, right? But places will go bankrupt and then find a way to keep right. They didn't say like we're closing down, did they?
just bankruptcy. So it's I think they have their. I can't remember what they
Did
were
they
saying.
did they
Like
say
chapter
it or did they
11,
declare it?
they declare it. I declare bankruptcy. Michael, you
Like
can't
you
just
can't just
say.
say the word bankruptcy and expect
I
anything to
didn't say
happen.
it. I
I
declared it.
declared it.
That's funny.
Dude, that is
Um,
funny. I. Oh, sorry. That's too good. Yeah.
um, but yeah, so I think they declared
Mhm.
chapter 11, which then I don't know what the difference exactly is, but it's something
Mhm.
about like you go chapter 11 and then once you get to chapter when you switch it to chapter 4 and that's where you start like liquidating assets and stuff like that. So
Go from 11 to 4. That makes no sense.
I I don't get it. I'm just repeating what I heard from half the two guys in a stack of comics that I
Mm.
listened to. um
Man. Mm.
let's see. Keanu says Diamond Comics owns Diamond Select. But did you
Mhm.
actually know that before they went bankrupt, or because I had no idea? Maybe if I collected Diamond Select toys, I would know a little better. But
Mm.
let's see. Ray Paz is asking if it's Diamond or just the toy part. I think it's the whole thing, like comics, toys, all of it bankrupt. Oh, and they also had the Annihilus was coming too.
Ooh.
Maybe that's why I don't know if Chapter 11 means they can kind of keep like fulfilling the
Mhm.
orders that have already come in because I would think that they
Right.
have the figure. It's been on pre-order for quite a while. It has to be in
Yeah.
production somehow at least.
Mhm.
But
You just
yeah,
gotta drive to the warehouse and pick it up.
Laserpan says it's well-known fact. I'm just a fool. Well, he didn't say I'm a fool, but I feel like a fool now.
It was implied.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Speaking
I guess
of,
yeah, reversal. I didn't
go ahead. Go
realize
ahead.
the other way. No, I was thinking more of the comic distributor. I didn't realize. So I think we were on
Hmm.
opposite ends of that realization. Met in the middle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I saw it mostly from the toy groups of
Right.
being bankrupt, and then when I saw two guys in a stack of comics, I was like, "What are these guys encroaching on our action figure chats?" But they were
That
talking about
happened.
comics. So,
Mm.
but speaking of having to go to the ports to pick up your pre-orders,
Mhm.
Necronominus, Jordan, that's
Mm.
any day now.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Wow.
it's impending.
It's
That's when
impending.
somebody was posting in the comments of talking about like the like cold front that's coming through. They're like, Necronominus brought that.
Oh, like he brought the chill. I like that. That's good. Came in with him on the boat.
All right, Laserpants is also saying that all the figures that are on pre-order, so if you got your Archangel and stuff on pre-order, that should be coming this year still. So
Mm.
they're not just dumping them. Ray's thinking that's a wrap for comics. They were the biggest distributor, but they weren't even like distributing everything anymore. DC had already switched distributors, and I think another big company did too. I don't know if it was Image
Mm.
or I think it might have been Image was also not on Diamond anymore, or something like that. Maybe Dynamite, whatever. But a few of the companies had already switched over, so I think that's probably going to help the comic industry not take too hard of a hit because some had already made the switch. But I don't know. I think comic stores are struggling already, regardless.
Yeah.
So it's not going to make it any easier. All
Mm.
right, we've got Fred coming in. Hello, Fred.
What's up, gentlemen?
Hi,
Thank
Fred.
you. Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Yes, loud and clear.
Thanks for having me on. Long time listener, first time caller.
Excellent.
Appreciate it.
Of
Um,
course.
yeah, I think the figure looks great. I think we all agree that it looks great. I think my biggest critique is it kind of has a bit of a thigh gap.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would do well by the community to price it at about $35.
Ooh,
I know
yeah.
that's wishful thinking.
Right.
I don't think they'll get there. They've had so many issues with supply recently. I think they could sell a Spider-Man like this at $35, gangbusters. It's going to sell everywhere. But
Mhm.
based on how many supply issues they've had recently, I'm pretty sure they'll try to play it with what they consider to be safe and
Mm.
probably price it at about 40, 45, if I'm being generous.
Okay.
Um, but I do like it. I don't think it's a Mayfex killer like some people say it is. I just
Mm-hmm.
they would capitalize on a lot of goodwill because I think we all agree it looks great. We would all
Mm.
like it, but it'll be interesting to see with what they go with.
Yeah, I agree, and I think I'm still gonna remain hopeful because I feel like when they were hyping it up, they were like, "Oh, we've listened to fan feedback. You guys want this type of stuff," and I feel like I do think there are some times where they're like, "Oh, like if the fans want this thing, they've got to go buy it." Kind of like I feel like that was a little bit like the Engine of Vengeance vibe, where they were like,
Mm.
"Oh, you guys have wanted a Mephisto, you got to support the HasLab," and people were like,
Right.
"The HasLab is overpriced. Like we can't,
Yeah.
we're not spending that much money." So I think
Mhm.
they've
Yeah.
kind of learned probably from there, and since then I think they've been kind of adjusting those prices to be a little bit more consumer friendly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think they had a good year last year. Obviously, it would be great to know. I know that Hasbro makes their financial documents public. I've looked at them before. They never specifically point out how, brands like GI Joe or Hasbro are doing.
Mm,
I think they just call them like partnership brands, and they say they're doing great.
mm,
But it'd be nice to know how a year like last year went compared to like some of the years that we would consider that they weren't, releasing
yeah.
Mm.
greater quality figures. Um, but how are they reacting to what we all kind of perceive to be a good 2023 4, right? Is
Right.
that enough to give them confidence to produce a lot of these and assume that they'll make up the cost in high quantities with a
Mhm.
relatively reasonable price? So I don't know, but I think they've got a good opportunity to lay it up and just it's a layup. I think don't make it higher than 40.
Mm-hmm.
You generate. Not everyone will be happy with 40, but you'll generate a lot of goodwill, and it'll. I think Dan said that this Spider-Man really lays the foundation for any future. If this doesn't do well, we're not getting any more maximum figures. That's what I kind of interpreted Dan as saying the
Mm.
Unparalleled podcast the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that they've at least got whatever the wave is currently. But then, yeah, I think you're right. If Spider-Man doesn't do well, they're probably gonna be like, all right, this is just kind of like summer program
Mhm.
style, one and done. We're not doing it again. Whereas if, like you said, if they have a price that's selling like hotcakes, everybody gets it, then
Mhm.
they're probably gonna be like, all right, what's our next wave of maximum figures? So, and I could see because it takes a year to get the figures out there to everybody. I would think they would have to be like planning it already. So I would assume they've got whatever. If we're going to get 5 maximum figures this year, I would guess they've got the 5 for next year, kind of like
Yeah,
about ready, where they're like, we just need to see how this Spider-Man does, and then we green light it, and then they can start like announcing them kind of sooner. But
yeah. I'm
yeah,
sure they have like some kind of. I don't know how far into what I'm considering to be production is. Like, is it just like a render that they have internally that takes time and people have to put effort into that too, so obviously we know they want this to succeed or they wouldn't do that.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I hope it does well. I hope they price it well. The one more thing I wanted to mention, I think the only thing I said I didn't like was a bit of a thigh gap at the
Mm-hmm.
hips.
Mhm.
Why didn't they give this thing? Obviously we always say that, oh, Hasbro doesn't give us the double ball peg or the ball peg at the waist like GI Joe does. They just did it for the, I don't know the specific Spider-Man's name, but the Indian Spider-Man from
Mm.
Spider Verse.
Spider-Verse. They
Mhm.
just proved that they could do it. This is the Maximum Spider-Man. You would think that they would include that as well.
Yeah, I've never had that Spider-Man yet, and I don't get GI Joe, so I haven't like felt the movement there. But I think I definitely see what you're saying with the thigh gap on this one, or like it just seems a little bit too spacey for
Yeah.
what it looks like the other figures are. But at the same time, I'm kind of okay with that because I think that's always my issue is like getting Spider-Man in like those like, really high knees, like up to his shoulders type of poses are always so hard with the ones that we've got now. And that's usually how I'm gonna
Yeah.
like if you're just like standing your figures, kind of like if you see Dan Who's displayed, like those are mostly like straight up and down standing for the most part.
Yeah.
Then you'd be able to see that, but you know, for dynamic posing, I think it's gonna hide pretty well, or at least that's my hope. So.
Yeah. Once you pose it up, it's gonna go away. I just
Mm-hmm.
think, I mean, we've seen Jada Toys get it right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're brand new to action figures. It's obviously impressive to all of us that they get it as well as they've gotten it in terms of articulation and engineering. I don't know. None of the Spider-Man Marvel Legends that I've ever purchased to this day, the classic ones, can do a full split. Pizza
Mm-hmm.
Spidey, Renew Your Vows. I
Mm-hmm.
hopefully this one can.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think I don't know. I think a lot is riding on this one for us as a community. Like it kind of feels like we've gotten to a point where we just want them to get the layup. Just it. This is a perfect opportunity. I mean, I'm pulling for them. I know we all give them shit all the time, rightfully so. But I hope they get this one right.
Yeah, I agree because I think, like you said, this is definitely them testing the waters, and I think the community is cautiously excited for it because I think
Mm-hmm.
I and I think I don't. I mean, they're doing a good job. If this is the reason they haven't put the price out, is so that we talk about it. We made an episode. We're doing a live stream. Everybody else has done kind of their thoughts on it and everything. A lot of chatter in the community about it.
Mm-hmm.
But that also worries me a little bit that like they didn't just say, "Hey, look at this Spider-Man. He's gonna be this much money." They're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Ooh, we got to build that excitement so that when we slap that price tag on him, they still
You've
want to
been
buy it."
thinking about it, and now
Right.
you really want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
People have been
Mm.
saying that. I guess there's like two thoughts on why they didn't announce the price immediately. That they have to have it. I
Oh
would be
yeah,
shocked if they didn't.
100%.
Either I can't I can't imagine that they're trying to. I don't know. What are you gonna do? Like aggregate like every single time that someone says what they'd be willing to pay, and then make a
Right.
decision on that? Or are you really just trying to like garner some hype to lessen the blow of whatever for whatever the
Mm-hmm.
price is going to end up being? Because
Yeah.
obviously there are going to be people that are going to be upset with it no matter what it is.
Right. And people are gonna. We've had a lot of comments in that last video being like, "Oh, this is a Marvel Legend. Marvel Legends should never cost more than $25 and yada yada." It's like, sure, that could be your opinion, but that's never going to be the reality of collecting
Mm-hmm.
figures. So, and we
Yeah,
also
I
had somebody comment to be like, "Oh, if this is like an issue for you, you shouldn't be collecting at all." Like, but at the same
One
time,
guy, Fred, said we should get into fishing if we don't like the price, and then he said you can go fishing or bowling.
hey, those are also both expensive hobbies. You ever seen the
right,
price of bowling shoes before?
right.
Yeah, I
So,
was like, I don't think bowling's free, but I mean, I guess I gotta
Yeah.
buy my fishing pole once I got that. But you know,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was. We've seen both sides of that
mm-hmm.
argument. So yeah, it is
Yeah.
interesting. I mean, it definitely will be. I'm also with you, Fred, holding my breath. I'm hoping that because we've had it before where we've speculated on a price and we were way over
Mm-hmm.
and like wow I can't like think that Deadpool 2 pack we were that's going to be 75 or 80 and it
Yep.
was like 50 and we're like wow that okay
Maybe that's their
so
strategy now.
well, yeah
Like everyone is
maybe
just maybe Dan Yoon's got some burner accounts and he's saying $60, I'll pay for that. $60
Right.
everywhere. And then, whenever they say it's 40, that's honestly that's how they got me with the Dragon Man. I thought
Yep.
it was going to be
mm,
Yeah.
120. I don't think it should have been 120, but
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think it should have been 80 either. Probably would have
Mm-hmm.
liked it to have been closer to. I wanted to be free, obviously, but I would have liked it
Right.
to be closer to like 60. But 80 is
Yeah,
certainly a lot less than 125. So
I
Yeah.
think
I'm
we
gonna
had the
buy it.
same exact thoughts on that too. I think we were at least
Yeah.
like 120 so
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
I think they just got us so used to like HasLab prices that when they brought it down to be like, oh no, this is just Dragon Man price. He's under 100. We're like, what? I got to get it
yeah
now.
mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think I would love to see the quantities of this figure versus not like something that's obviously gonna sit on pegs for a while, but like how does this compare to your standard Marvel Legends? Like how many of these
Mm-hmm.
are you planning on making? Um, I don't know. I'm interested in the whole financial aspect of what they do. I would love to
Mhm.
be able to hear more about it, but obviously they're pretty hush hush about it.
Right.
It would help all of this make more sense to people. Or honestly, it might just confuse us even more, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I mean, I think that would be kind of fun to know exactly how many of each figure are out there, so that you can kind of know like, oh, this is going to be like a shorter run of this figure. So if I want it, I should probably pre-order it. But
Mm.
also, I see why they don't do it, because obviously they don't want people being like, oh, well, I'm just gonna. They made way more of the Spider-Man, so I'll just wait till I find it on shelves. So
Mhm.
I wonder how much companies like Jada have impacted. Obviously, they've impacted a lot. We just saw Storm Collectibles release like another $25 6-inch competitive figure recent or
yeah,
that's up for pre-order. But I wonder internally if Hasbro ever cares about something like that. I mean, it's their competition now.
right.
I know even the Legends guys are fans of what's happening over on the Street Fighter line. So, but I wonder how
Mm-hmm.
much they consider that and the state of the action figure market today before they start to price these things.
I would think it has to factor in at least a little bit. I mean, like I could see them being like, it's a new person, at least at first, to be like, oh, they're gonna price that. We'll see how that does. Like, I would, if I was them, I would be expecting like QC issues, or it's gonna feel cheap in your hand. But now that it's out there, they've put out several. There's, wave one happened, and then they followed it up and kept
Mhm.
consistent. I would think
Hmm.
they've got to be thinking about it now, because now when people are, all collectors have to decide what's going to be taking up room on their shelf. And if they can see, Street Fighter cost me this much, I feel like, this level of quality with it, versus Legends. Like Legends has to be able to maintain some of that shelf space on there. So,
Yeah. I mean, they can do it when they try. Like,
mm-hmm,
I didn't get the recent Phoenix. I already have a Dark Phoenix. I don't need it.
mm-hmm,
But and generally, I'm going to err on the side of Mafex. Just like first of all, for anyone who's like wondering like why Mafex figures are so expensive, like the finish on them, there's more pieces. I mean, they're just a higher quality figure. It just is
yeah,
what it is. But when you put that Legends Phoenix next to the Mafex Phoenix, right around, they came out right around the same time.
mm-hmm,
Um, I would have gotten the Legends one. It looks better. It like just
mm-hmm,
the silhouette is better. It comes with that big effect piece, so they have the ability to just kind of sneak in and take up market space when they feel like it, or
yep,
when they try. And I think this is their attempt to do that again with Spider-Man, but we'll see.
mm-hmm, yeah. And I think, as cool as Mayfexes are, and like it is kind of hard to, like, if somebody's never had a Mayfex before, to like explain to them like why a Mayfex is better. It's like, it just, like, you move it and it feels better. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to
Mhm.
explain, but you just bend the arm and you're like, oh, this is better. But
Mhm.
I think Legends, especially with Marvel, like I think with, kind of like I said earlier, DC is a much starker contrast between Todd McFarlane's Batman
Oh
and
yeah.
a Batman from Mayfex. Is like, you don't really have to explain it that hard. Like, Mayfex is better, and if you have
You
eyes, you
all
know
know
that.
what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty.
Right.
Sometimes legends can be mechanical, or they can feel
Mm-hmm.
mechanical whenever you're articulating them. Todd's, they seem to ratchet without actually having ratchets. And yeah, it's not the most comfortable experience,
Yeah.
but yeah, the Mafex figures, for anyone that doesn't have a Spider-Man,
That's
like
great.
the web lines they're sculpted in. It's
Mm-hmm.
got shading all
Mm.
over it. It's got metallic paint on it. It's got a
Yeah.
wash over it. Like it just, I can't remember what video I was watching recently where the someone was saying, I think it was Wade from Unparalleled actually was saying that just layers of paint,
Mm-hmm.
every layer like costs an additional amount of money. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into a Mafex figure.
Right. And I think, like, to Legends credit, I think a lot of times for me, it's much easier to be like, oh, actually, I'm just going to go with the Marvel Legends version. Like, sure, I know a Mayfex is going to feel better, but like with Captain America and Daredevil both, especially, like, to me, the promo shots were just kind of like, the shoulders look a little weird, and like comparing, like, am I going to spend almost $100 on that figure, or am I going to spend 25 on this? I'll go with the cheaper figure. I know it's going to feel cheaper,
Yeah.
But to me, like the value there is, I'm like, it's close enough that I'm going to go with the cheaper one. So,
Yeah.
and I think, like you said, they can get close on some of those where it's like, there's an argument to be made. Where, like I said, with McFarlane's, there's not much of an argument there.
Yeah, it's the good news is that I think, what, Mayfex figures are outnumbered like 10-1 for every
Right.
Marvel Legends. For every Mayfex figure you got like 10 Marvel Legends. It's a
Mm-hmm.
good way to supplement your collection.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, honestly, my last Legend Spider-Man was like a Frankenstein of like the Renew Your Vows, the retro, the Walmart animated one. Like I literally was like taking the feet off of the Renew Your Vows, putting them on the retro. Like I just caved and I said I'm just getting the Mayfix. It's just too much. But then
Yeah.
everything else in my literally everything else in my collections is a Legends figure. So
Mm.
why not both?
Yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah.
the only Marvel Mayfex you have, Jordan, is that Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, I really do like that one a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it hasn't stopped me from never buying Spider-Man since.
Right.
But I mean, I think I'm definitely a lot more choosy on like
Mm-hmm.
if I were to get one. So, yeah, that one is really great, and I think for some figures, especially if there's like the one or two or whichever ones you want that you really want that version of, I do think a Mayfex makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but it's just kind of preference.
Don't
But I
try
do
kidding
agree with
yourself
you.
though that it's the last one you'll ever buy of that character.
Oh no,
Yeah.
definitely not. But
I said that 6 Spider-Men ago, so it's not.
Right.
But gentlemen, I'm gonna get out of here. Appreciate the time. I
all
want
right.
to just say one more thing to the Legends team, which I'm not so important to assume that you're all listening. But if you are, don't fuck this up. You guys have a really good opportunity to make us all happy. Just price it reasonably,
All
please,
right.
and we'll all be happy and we'll all buy it. If they priced it, hopefully they are listening. If you price it at $35, I'll buy two. And I don't
Ooh.
Yeah.
think I'm the only
All
one.
right.
No,
I
I don't
probably
Yeah.
think
shouldn't
you
have
are
said
either.
that,
Probably
but
not.
please just don't overprice it.
They're
Dan's
gonna,
gonna hear you on his burner account and go tell everybody.
Yeah,
So.
and he's gonna
Dan's on
hold
his
you
burner
to it.
account typing out "what an idiot" and then just backspacing. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for
All
having me
right.
on.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys have a good night.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you. You too. Thanks for joining.
All right. I'm gonna check in on our poll one last time to see if anything's drastically changed. Got
That's a
about
great description of McFarlane.
yeah.
They
I'm.
ratchet without having ratchets. That's so true, dude.
It is.
Like, ooh, it's supposed to sound like that.
I think that is kind of like, especially with McFarlane's, is like with the ankles, especially those can get so annoying where it like ratchets and then it's like doing a Michael Jackson lean. You're like, no, that's too far. And you ratchet it back and they're like falling off backwards. It never ratchets in perfectly level. I don't know if
Like
that.
this Frankenstein up here, it's crazy, dude. It's like I'm gonna pinch my finger off if I bend his leg. It's horrible.
That's true. I can't imagine like kids, like younger kids, like they can get their whole finger in there and just like lose it.
Come on, it's super cool, guys.
You can bludgeon your brother with it and lose a finger.
Look at all that plastic. Oh, that's good.
And especially when you add the spikes on there too. Like if any of the characters got spikes on them and you try to, it's not long until you're drawing blood.
Yeah.
All right, folks. I think we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks to everybody that joined. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. You know, if you're feeling real generous, you can join the membership. We're going to be doing, like I said, I've got Friday. We're going to have a members-only video. Check that out. We'll be talking about other YouTubers. Probably going to leave displaying model behaviors out of this one. Give his fans a break from having a comment on our stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's overlap. Like people can like us both, but when they, can't take a joke, that's the problem. And then we're gonna have another episode coming out tomorrow on Thursday, and every week. If you are a channel member, next week is Strong Collectors After Dark. Jordan and I will break out our sexy voices, and that might also be a call-in show for you listeners as well. So until then, Make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing, and stay strong. Oh, I gotta go clear back to the other screen. This will take me a second.
What?
There we go.
To end it?
End. Got it.